Hello again, and welcome to another Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is issue number 57. This week we're building the upper rear bulkhead, essentially the piece that goes in place of the rear window on the Back to the Future DeLorean Time Machine. This is the part that has the famous Christmas tree on it. It also has the flux capacitor, which we'll be installing next week, or possibly 2 weeks if my power supply comes in and I do a video for that in between. One or the other should be next. But this is the Christmas tree with the Mike Lane Mod sticker applied. It was actually quite a bit easier than I thought it was going to be, lining all that up. I really thought it was going to be a huge pain, and it wasn't. But yeah, there it is. The other mod in this week is this little high voltage sticker on this panel right above the black square there. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the pieces out and get started on this week's build. This is the bulkhead piece itself, where everything's going to be mounted to. We're basically building this out, but not attaching it to anything yet. Everything in this week's kit is plastic, so we've got GP screws and AP screws, along with our various little pieces. There's a couple of these brackets. This larger piece, this is going to get a bunch of the wires in. And then there's a couple of these black pieces. These are actually going to take the cables that have the connectors on the back, the pseudo connectors, faux connectors, and a little bag of additional pieces. So, first step is to take the bulkhead, and I think I know which way this goes. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the highly reflective side is the outside. It's funny, they label these two gold brackets. I guess they're identical. They don't look identical in the picture. I get it. So the front looks like that. The back looks quite a bit different, and in the picture you're seeing the front of one and the back of the other, because they are back and forth, I guess. So these go on, yeah, because they have a large pin and a small pin, and the holes right here are one side, the large hole is up, the other side is down. They force you into that flipped orientation. So again, nice of them to do things where I can't screw it up due to my own incompetence. I mean, I can, obviously, but like, I can't put stuff in horribly backwards too easily. So this is going to be held in with one AP screw each. And if anybody ever thinks, watching these, that they can't do this kind of detail work, you definitely can. If I can do this with my shaky hands, my tendency to drop things and spill paint, like, you can definitely do this stuff. Okay, so there is our bulkhead with our brackets attached. Next up, we're going to be installing the Christmas tree itself to the side of those. Christmas tree is going to go right there, and that is going to be held on with a couple of GP screws. Now, the Christmas tree is designed to light up with LEDs from the back. However, the way this kit is designed, they just put a couple of LEDs behind it, and it just lights up, and it doesn't strobe or anything, and without that sticker, it doesn't even have the proper colors. So that sticker helps quite a bit, but is probably going to block the light from the LEDs. It might glow a little bit. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to do. So there we go. Christmas tree installed. I think that looks pretty good. I think that sticker looks really good. I'm amazed at how well that came out. Following that, we have to do some sub-assembly. I gotta go into this little bag and get a couple of these black, they're calling them wires, they're, you know, obviously not real wires. Now these look very similar but are not quite the same. This one is a little bit more full U shape and it has that little bend right at the end. This is a little bit smaller and the bend is less severe. So the less severe bend goes on, these are both going to go on this piece again. The less severe one goes on to the left, and they have little pins on the back to get them to fit in. This one's actually got a little bit of flashing still on it, which I'm going to clip off. They didn't clean up the mold very well on this. Okay, now that that's cleaned up, and there's really not anything holding this in place except friction. So that's one. The other one's going to go next to it. And again, these are held on just with those tiny little pins on the back, which you might not even be able to see that well. So that is the finished product. And yeah, just touching these makes them wiggle. So that is going to go on the bulkhead on the angled portion. That's going to be secured with 2 AP screws. I'm actually going to go ahead and put a dab of glue on these wires because I don't trust them. Oh, now that I've said that, it's only the one bit that wants to come out. They're actually pretty secure, so I'm going to pass on that. If they fall apart during this build, I'll go back and glue them. Yeah, that one's getting glued, the other one's fine. So bear with me just a moment. Be a little gentle with that while I do the last couple bits of this. Next up, we're going to be installing this piece. It's going to be secured with 2 AP screws. And this goes over here. So that goes on like that. Now the other little piece out of this bag is going to go in the top. Stuffing tube piece. That's also going to be secured with an AP screw. When it's all done, it should look like that. Now all that's left to install are the couple of connector blocks. Those are also going to be secured with AP screws. Is there a difference? Yes, there is a difference between the two of them. So I've got to figure out which is which. Okay, so one of them has 2 holes in the middle. The other one has the double holes at the top. I want the one with 2 holes in the middle first. That's going to go next to this gold piece. And I think, now that I'm looking at them, that maybe the screw hole and everything is not lined up in a way that would have let you mislocate them. I'm not sure. The other one goes by the block with a high voltage sticker. And that's it. that is the bulkhead as far as we're going to build it next week. The flex capacitor, of course, goes here in the center. I'm not sure what all the other holes are for. And there are a number of spots on the back here and behind the flex capacitor that are going to hold LEDs eventually to make things light up. I do have a mod kit for the flux capacitor as well. I'm just doing little sticker mods. I'm not going in for the full crazy model mods change on that one. The same obviously with Christmas tree. I didn't replace the whole Christmas tree. Yeah, so in the near future, look for the flux capacitor build and or the model mods DC power change so that I don't have to use batteries for this thing, which, you know, ideal. That said, if you like what you see, please subscribe. You can check out those playlists for any episodes you might have missed, including some of those mods. And have a good one, guys.